Welcome to InfoComm 2022. This is Rich Fregosa for AVNetwork.com. I am here at the Absen booth with Brian Macauto, who has one of the cooler titles I've come across on the show. You are the Director of Virtual Production
Yes, I am.
for Absen. I have to point out, obviously we're in one of the most interesting booths and layout interview locations here, so thanks for having me for a fireside chat.
Well, thank you very much. I love camping, so we're bringing camping to InfoComm this year.
So we were talking a little bit earlier, and well, actually I want to preface it with this. So, you know, we're back. InfoComm, you know, I was at Barcelona, and I got the opportunity to be at ISE, and you know, for attendees and for exhibitors, it's been a little while since there was a return and there was the feeling that we were getting back to normal, but this is the first North American show, and InfoComm obviously has come back. How does it feel just being back? And I'm going to preface it with, this is a new position for you, 2.5 months in. How did you find yourself at Absen? Once you found yourself at Absen, and now that you're able to finally see your dealers and your coworkers. Tell me a little bit about your road to InfoComm and your InfoComm experience.
Excellent, excellent. Well, so as you mentioned, I'm somewhat new at Absen, but I've been in the virtual production industry now for over 2 years. I used to work for Disguise and other companies that offered virtual production solutions, and so it's definitely a very passionate adventure of mine to really get into virtual production, and I love cinema. So when Absen approached me to become their director of virtual production, I was very excited to learn about their LED technology, and when I discovered that they had amazing products designed specifically for this industry, I got very, very excited, and of course, I did very well in the interview process and loved everybody who I chatted with, and I'm working with a great team now. So very excited to be here at Absen, and to be back here at InfoComm is amazing. I've been in the industry for almost 20 years now, and I've been to every InfoComm since then, and I've missed seeing all of my coworkers and fellow colleagues, and I always learn so much from them, so I really miss that interaction. So it's great being back here.
And what's amazing is the booth activity.
Oh, yes.
You know, I mean, this is day 2, just so you know, from where we're recording right now. It's constant, and there's an excitement.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
This is just so much fun over here. People come over here and they check out our environment that we're creating here, and then we talk technology, et cetera, but it's just a lot of energy that we feel here.
That's fantastic. So I got to get to business here.
Yeah, okay, cool.
All right. What new products is Absen showing off this year?
We're showing off our virtual production product line, which includes anything from a floor application to backdrop applications from 1.2 millimeter pitch all the way up to 2.5 millimeter pitch, and we also have ceiling products as well. So Absen has a full product range to address all the needs of the virtual production market.
That's awesome. There's been a lot of involvement just in the production space as well, in virtual production. You're using a pretty unique way of showing off, I'm assuming, what you've been waiting for the past year to show everybody. So, you know, let's talk a little bit about, you know, how the technology that you've been generating has evolved leading up to this, and obviously showing it off at this point.
Absolutely. So typically LED manufacturers have to make LED that looks amazing to the human eye. And of course, Absen's been doing that for over 21 years. In fact, Absen's been the #1 LED exporter in China for over 12 years now. So very well-established LED company. But to get into virtual production, the LED has to look amazing on camera. So how we've been evolving is working with camera manufacturers and doing camera testing, and also the processing companies such as Brompton to make sure that our LED technology can support the latest features that those processing companies have to address the technical issues that arise when you're using really high-end cinema camera systems.
Well, and that's a great point, because, you know, again, the commercial market and the broadcast market share a lot of commonalities. You do see integrators that are entering it. Why is it important to be able to get your LEDs tuned to cameras, as opposed to just, like I said, you know, you can't do just good enough to the human eye. You know, what are the differences that you see and the reason behind it?
Well, cinema camera systems, especially the very high-end systems that use rolling shutter sensor systems, work very different from the human eye. So when you put a typical LED on those camera systems, all sorts of weird video aberrations wind up showing up in your image and makes your final product that you're shooting unusable. And so you have to make sure that you address issues like scan lines or color axis shifting issues. As you change the color angles, the colors have to remain constant. Otherwise, things just look funny as, you know, your camera shifts. So many features are needed to address the issues caused by rolling shutter cameras, which we do.
Heading into partnerships.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier, and I wanted to kind of circle back to that. Absen and Brompton
Yes.
have a pretty special relationship that's been going on. Talk a little bit about that.
So we have used other processing companies in the past before we got into virtual production. The virtual production industry, though, loves Brompton processing because they are in the forefront of technology of offering those features that address the needs of virtual production. So by working with Brompton on our latest LED product to support their processing, we are therefore addressing the needs of the industry. And if we support Brompton processing, then as they develop the latest, greatest, awesome LED processing, our technology then works with it. So basically, we're kind of piggybacking on their awesome engineering skills to make our LED look as good as possible.
Obviously, as people are passing by and you're seeing their eyes light up and the quality, you know, display manufacturers, you're not the only one here.
Of course, of course.
So the question that gets brought up is, it's always the quality versus the price conversation. And you know, what are the conversations that you have with end users, you know, regarding always balancing those two?
That's a very interesting question with virtual production, because with virtual production, typically you need the best possible quality LED to make it look good on these camera systems, right? You're not looking for that value-priced LED. Now what Absen brings to the table is our LED competes against the top manufacturers out there regarding performance and technology, but we're coming in at a better valued price. So we actually have the better value price, but all those technical features, so you don't actually have to compromise the quality when you go with an Absen product, but you can definitely get a better value proposition for your project.
So what can we expect to see this coming year at this point then?
Many more Absen LED volumes. I want to see tons of them across the country and the globe. We're really going to be working very hard to talk directly with our industry, help educate them on how to use our Absen products for their applications, and really listen to them to figure out what they're looking for in the future from LED manufacturers.
Well, great. Well, I'm looking to figure out what we're going to go ahead and cook up on the pot, or if I'm going to just go ahead and Uno you first.
Exactly,
So,
Uno.
Uno first. Well, great. You know, Brian, this is fantastic. Obviously, there's a lot to see on the show floor here at your booth, but let's say, unfortunately, people can't make it to Vegas and InfoComm. How can they find out more about Absen?
Well, they can definitely reach us on our website at www.usabsen.com, and of course they can reach out to any of our sales teams. We have both West Coast, East Coast, and Central sales teams, so everybody knows who their sales directors are and they can reach out to them.
Obviously, if you want to find out more about Absen, you can find them on their website. Hopefully you get a chance to communicate with Brian, welcome him to the team, I'm assuming.
Thank you very much. Yes,
you know,
please
obviously,
do.
you know, also can get a good Uno game in maybe a little bit later. But if you want to find out more about AVNetwork, you can find them on their website. Their coverage of InfoComm 2022, as well as all the other verticals that they're covering. This is Rich Fregosa for AVNetwork.com.